Author Nation, thanks for tuning in to the Author Nation State of the Nation podcast. And if you want the State of the Nation, you are in the right place. Who doesn't like a good update? Today, Jen Green, Chelle Honiker, Mandie Stevens, and Suze Solari are going to be discussing where the show is so far and what you can expect. So stick around.
Hey, Author Nation, we're back with another stimulating conversation. And today I'm joined by Suze Solari, Mandie Stevens, and Jen Green. And we've been in Cleveland all week. We've been at the CEX conference and had just a really interesting conversation around, all of the sessions that have happened there. And we've also done some team building here for our Author Nation conference. So it's been really cool to be all together. And we've had inspiration and ideas that have sprung out of it. So we thought it would be really great for everybody to kind of hear some of the differences and some of the changes that we have planned and some of the logistics that we have and kind of take everybody through what they can expect. So one of the things that we've talked about specifically is the intentionality of community. So we have our online communities where we hope everybody will go to community.authornation.live and join and find your local folks. But when you get to Author Nation in Las Vegas, Suze Solari has an entire logistics and welcome environment that she's planned. So tell us about that, Suze.
Oh, it would be my pleasure, Chelle. Well, you already touched on some of the important things of our communities, that togetherness and connectivity and inclusion. And with our run up to the show with our regional meetups, we want to have that kind of fostered environment where people feel like they already know each other. I mean, a lot of us already do, and we look forward to the summer camp of getting together once a year in November. But we wanted to have the kind of environment that makes that very easy to facilitate. So with our Industry Expo Day beginning on Monday, we're going to have the adjacent area to, if you are familiar with the layout of Horseshoe, it was called the Silver Room. We're opening that up to the vendor table area and the sponsor booths. And so there's going to be a much wider physical space in the form of a T-shape that includes the check-in area that was before the Grand Ballroom from the event center. So it will be a place where we're going to have some soft seating and lots of tables where people can, gather and have conversations and meet each other. Again, long-lost friends from a year ago or meet new friends that they've met online prior. We're calling it the Mix and Mingle Midway.
Oh, we named it. All right, that's cool.
And where our sponsors will be set up all week. So, there's going to be ample space and encouragement of folks to be able to come in if they're unable to get time with our sponsors and our vendors to learn their educational demonstrations and product, going through their product with them, and they can sign up for sessions later in the week. So we're just hoping that everyone has adequate time with each other, with the sponsors, and that's how we're envisioning the new layout to facilitate. And we're really excited. We're getting really good feedback.
It makes a big difference, right? We've made it intentional so that people can have the breathing room in the space, because Vegas can be so overwhelming and people can just get so stressed out having that many people. There are extroverts in our midst, not a lot of, no, there's just, I'm just kidding. It sometimes feel like we're all introverts though, and sometimes we do get exhausted by having those. So we have done things that are intentional, and you've spent a lot of time crafting places where people can sit and have a quiet moment, or sit and chat with one-on-one people and not feel the crush of it. So the other thing that we've done that's a little bit different is we've got vendor programming on Monday, and that's my venue. So we have, and I've made Jen's life a nightmare because we have a learning lab. And Jen is rolling with everything, you guys. As the assistant show director, she is just like, yeah, that's fine. Let me write that down. And we'll need AV, and I will not sleep the night before. That's fine. We'll get up.
That'll be great.
You've done great. So we have the learning lab, and then we have product tours from some of our vendors. We've made accommodations. We're finalizing all of the times, but people will be able to go to the vendor tables, but also go see the learning labs and get some hands-on things. So what are some other things what are some other curveballs we've thrown at you?
Well, I think, at me, there's been a lot of things, but because we're getting this done early enough, it's all doable. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're really planning this out intentionally and thinking about the experience. And one of the good things that we did this week was look at how another conferences run and kind of thought about what we can take away from that. And that's helped us decide on the length of our sessions and how many we're going to put in there. Good to know that there are going to be a lot. But we're also saying take advantage of all the things in the middle so that we can take a break and take a seat, and we're giving all of these options to watch later. So you can still get the content, but there are a lot of options for you to choose from, so you can really tailor your experience and get what you're looking for out of the conference and still have a lot of time for networking and meeting people.
Yeah, it's been really exciting for all of us to be together in one space because as we've been at CEX, we've seen things that we've really liked. Having bumper music, having QR codes, like just adding to the experience. I think we've all seen things that we've really liked. We've also seen some things that we would like to do a little bit differently because we're a bigger conference or because we want a different experience. We've all had some constructive criticisms along the way. Not that anything's been wrong, just different, right? And so it's been great to have all of us in a space where we can give our opinions, both as attendees and as event organizers. What have you taken away from this, Mandie? Because you have a big responsibility too, being in charge of RAVE on Friday.
I do. Just us being able to sit and talk has been huge because there's so many plans. And like we were talking about community, we really want to bring the reader community in this year. Not just from Las Vegas. We want to bring readers in from all over. And we want to make it a really good experience for both authors and readers, and tons of opportunities for authors to really, really connect with the readers. Not just get assigned books, but we have panels this year, some really awesome breakout sessions, and then we have an amazing fantasy party, which is multi-genre, which will end the night. Lots of fun.
I'm excited about that. I keep throwing out, fire eaters and spinning aerialists.
Maybe
no one said no yet.
2025.
No one said no to me yet, but
it's Vegas.
We're trying to see if we can get the insurance writer for that stuff. But I think that is the one thing that we have talked about is having a very solid first year event with the evening event.
And seeing some of the things that have come up recently from other cons.
Yeah.
It's really just us talking and making sure that we have the things in place, that these things don't happen, that we can give the readers and the authors the very best experience that they can have.
Yeah, we serve two audiences, right? And so we really do want to be sure that they both feel well cared for.
Yes,
that's
absolutely.
Been kind of a running theme.
And the volunteers and everybody who's helping us. But, we're planning way ahead of time.
Right.
And we're getting all our ducks in a row, and I think that's very, very important.
And I think it's important, too, because we're all writers as well as conference planners, so we're very aware of how we want to be treated. And
Absolutely.
So I know we've talked a lot about how we can be sure that we're treating our friends and colleagues the way that they deserve to be treated.
Absolutely.
And we want people to come and have an amazing time and feel like they've gotten to meet the authors that they want to meet and buy the books that they want to buy and have the signings that they want to have. And so everybody has an amazing experience.
And we have some things that Joe is putting together that is going to make this an amazing experience for the authors, on the back end and the readers. I'm so excited.
I'm excited about that. And I hate when he puts me on a podcast and I'm not allowed to talk about stuff. It's so I can't keep secrets, you guys. This is a known thing.
It's exciting, really, really exciting.
Yes, very exciting.
It'll be much easier.
It will be much easier. And I think that goes along with the undergirding thing that we've talked about, which is the experience. We're thinking through the experience at every point. How can we make it easier for people to check in, right? Tammy Martell has always done an amazing job, and I've always been incredibly impressed with how she's runs that.
Awesome.
But how can we make her job easier? Because her job is to make the attendees welcome easier. How can we have people there to answer questions so that people don't feel lost or alone? How can we give more space in between the sessions so that we have time to go to the restroom or have a quick conversation and not feel rushed to get to the next section? We've really spent some time this week, especially solidifying some of the times and some of the things that we really feel like will add to the experience. So I've been incredibly thrilled to be here with all of you guys to kind of see it all sort of come to life. But yeah,
Like, I can't wait for November.
I can't wait for November either, but it's going to be here before we know it, right? It's just going to be so fast. So what are some other things that you guys have seen this week? Jen, what have you seen this week that's made you think of things that we can do differently or?
Well, I spent a lot of time talking to the people that were working the conference and just kind of hearing some of their what has worked out well. And they actually, a lot of them do other conferences as well. So they have I got kind of an amalgam of their experiences and kind of like what's gone really well and what hasn't. So I have some good ideas for the volunteers and for the people that will be helping us out. I also really enjoyed looking at it from not just a writer, but just hearing about content, because I think that is a good way for us to look at ourselves, because we're not just putting out books, but there are other things that we can do. And as writers and as people that are putting out content, I really like the idea of kind of sliding into a little bit broader space. And I think going to a slightly broader conference was a really interesting thing for me as a person.
Right, so something that was a huge takeaway that I appreciate so much coming this year is how you're doing different tiers for beginner, intermediate, and advanced. I think that is huge, because I did go into some places, and I am a content creator, and I was like, okay, well, this was great, but it didn't serve me, whereas what you're doing is going to help people be served. I think it's huge.
Yeah, one of the biggest things that we did from the beginning with soliciting, the talks was we do have our pre-published explorers, we have our mid list, and then we've got more of our advanced. And we did want every person to submit objectives for their talks. And as we move toward the deadline for the speakers to submit their decks, every one of them will be vetted. Every one of them will have objectives clearly defined up front so that the attendees can match and make sure, they're going to be talking about this. I already know that. Or, this is exactly what I need. This is the gap training that I absolutely need. So we're trying to be, again, very intentional about how we craft that so that everybody knows what they're going in to learn and making sure that they get that. We'll also have surveys for every attendee. That was one of the things that CEX did very well. We were able to give feedback, not so that we can beat up the talk, but so that we know how to better coach our speakers now and in the future. And we can solicit feedback so that we're making it better and better and better and better and iterate better. So
in the program, we're working together with Lulu, our sponsor, who's so generously stepped into, this role is perfect for them.
It is.
Where we will have that ability for, each track to, find their tribe, find their, passport, if you will, of an itinerary, to decide where they want to go to get the most out of their experience, and be able to use that as a tool, as a follow-up and accountability tool. So that is another thing that is, something that we also, like you guys touched on some really good things about what we have observed in these different conferences that we've been going to widen our experience and really hone in on, what our attendees want to get out of it.
Right. And I think that brings us to one of the main things that we've talked about is how can we support attendees after they leave Author Nation? And that's why we created the communities in advance, so that you can connect, but that's also your accountability platform afterwards. So when you get the program and you fill it up with all of your notes, you take those notes, and now what are you going to do with it? You're not going to be left alone to your own devices to do whatever. You're going to have space there that you can take what you've learned, implement it, ask questions, and have people in between the 11 months or the 362 days before you come back to Other Nation, to your family reunion, which for most people, the networking is the point, right? We're trying to make it so that, yes, the networking is the point. That's the magic and alchemy. But then also the education is exactly what you need to get you to the next level in your business, or to get you to the next idea, or to get you to the next thing. So it's, I cannot even tell you how great it's been to just dream with us this week, to just have this space and time to think about all the things that are possible. And I also have to say, Joe has the most fun job ever. His job is to say yes to all of our crazy ideas. Like, is that not the coolest thing? I have to shout out to him.
Find a way.
He does.
I'm over here like maybe 2025.
Yeah,
2026.
I know. It goes on a list somewhere, but it is kind of cool for me to say fire, and they go, oh, okay, well, let's see if we get a sponsor for that. If there's any sponsors out there for fire, that would be cool. Well, thanks, guys. Is there anything else that we haven't touched on that we want to mention as a parting comment, or?
Nope, just stay tuned, because we will be releasing, we're going to release the authors, but for RAVE, we're going to release all the fun things that are coming. We're just trying to finalize a few things.
Can you say it? Can you tell me?
Well, I mean...
Can I know?
Yeah.
I want to know.
Well, I mean, we have the panels and the breakouts, so,
Again, no one tells me anything because I can't keep a secret, but that's fine. That's great. I'm very excited about that. I think it's going to be, especially having Kevin Smith start Thursday night and really set the tone for the rest of the weekend. And it's not just, Thursday night, Friday night. We have the room block throughout the weekend, so you can come as a reader even and enjoy the weekend. Take a break as an author, or come as a spouse or a partner and hang out the whole weekend. We have the F1, but the block will fill up pretty quickly. So,
wow.
Yeah.
And just, sign up for the newsletter, join the community, get involved with your region. Look forward to the competition that's coming.
Story Wars, yeah.
Story Wars.
But Story Wars is what, Wednesday night?
Yes.
Yes.
It's gonna be so
but we're
much fun.
doing, they're doing some before, kind of like it's going to be kind of a thing that we get together with our regions and do.
Right.
We got to hang out with them last night and record some podcast episodes, and they are ridiculously fun.
Yeah.
I think we've all moved to Cleveland, right? Just to be here with them.
It's a cool town. Yeah.
It's got great coffee. I'm fine.
And don't forget Soundbooth Theater, our other sponsor, who is putting together a really dynamic variety show.
Yep.
And that's definitely in the works. And so all these things are going to be dripped in as soon as we get more information. So that's why
They have some fun things, really fun things planned for RAVE too.
I think it's really exciting that we are planning this early, right? Because now we can sort of build in some of the fun, and we've kind of had fun with them and kind of seen what it's all about. So you guys, it's going to be off the hook. You need to come and have some fun with us. All right. Well, thanks, guys. We'll see you next
good.
episode.
We'll see you there.